Hello, church. Please grab your Bibles and turn to Colossians chapter 1. We want to continue in the study of Colossians. We're going to read verses 9 through 14 today, but I just want to quickly remind you of what we talked about last week. We talked about how Paul was thanking God for the reports he was receiving back from Colossae. Paul is in prison here, and so he can't physically go and be with the Colossians, but he still has a message for them, and he does that through a letter. And so the Colossians received the gospel, that gospel of hope, and that hope really brought forth fruit and became beautiful trees of faith and love. And so what Paul is saying in this next section is continue in that. Continue in that faith and love. Don't think that you've arrived yet. And so this is what he says. For this reason, verse 9, since the day we heard about you, we have not stopped praying for you. We continually ask God to fill you with the knowledge of his will through all the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives. This is where your power comes from. It comes from the Spirit. And so one of the beautiful things that Paul can do is I can pray for you. I can't physically be there with you, but I can pray for you. And that's what I'm doing. I am asking the Lord to do these things. And so I'm asking him to fill you with knowledge of his will. So what you are to do, that you will know that, through all the wisdom and understanding that the Spirit gives you, so that you may live a life worthy of the Lord and please him in every way. And here are the things that will please him, that are living the life worthy of the Lord, bearing fruit in every good work, growing in the knowledge of God, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might, so that you may have great endurance and patience, and giving joyful thanks to the Father who has qualified you to share in the inheritance of his holy people in the kingdom of light. That is the hope that we have, is sharing that inheritance. For he has rescued us from the dominion of darkness and brought us into the kingdom of the Son he loves, in whom we have redemption, the forgiveness of sins. And so what Paul is saying is, you may feel like you've arrived at a certain maturity level, but the truth of the matter is, living a life worthy of the calling that we have received, worthy of the Lord, it actually is a continuous process. It is something that we continually need to be rooted in him to do. That becomes a theme as we move forward. He says this, it bears fruit in every good work. That means that faith without deeds is dead, like James says later on. It's also growing in the knowledge of God. You don't know everything about God. One of the things that I've been amazed at is as I mine the scriptures is that this whole book points to that good news. And I'm amazed at the wealth of knowledge of God. I get to know him better and know his plan better as I continue to remain in him. And then it says, being strengthened with all power according to his glorious might. We serve a mighty God that can strengthen us through his word, so that we may have great endurance, because there will be times where we will feel like giving up. Patience, we're going to have to wait on the Lord in a lot of ways. And giving joyful thanks, because that gospel, that inheritance that we have, is something that I am so absolutely thankful for, even when things are not going well around me. And so we plant that seed of hope, and it springs up, and it produces fruit. And it's not just a one-time fruit. It's not just the inheritance, although that gives us strength, but it also produces itself over and over, and it reproduces itself. And that is what the Spirit does in our lives when we connect with that Spirit, when we live our lives in that kingdom, in the power of the Spirit. God bless you as you continue to live out that hope with faith and love, but also growth and continuing to be sanctified by that Spirit. God bless you.